Hello everyone. Today we have a new topic. Maybe it's not related to technology, but still it's related to the IT industry. There's saying that customer is always right. So today we have Ans, the legal counsel for the IT industries, and he will explain to us if the customer is still right or not. Hello Ans.
Hi Naveen. And like you said, the customer is always right, but we need to make sure that they don't always take us for a ride as well.
Okay, so just tell us more about your role as a legal counsel in the IT industry.
Well, I've been working as a legal counsel in the IT industry for 6 years now. My job is to primarily focus on the legal and financial aspects of any business transaction in order to identify any red flags or concerns that may be detrimental for the company, and I discuss them with the management. Also, in addition to that, I deal with corporate litigation with law firms, and I provide them whatever support they may need in-house.
And you mentioned red flags. What are these red flags you are talking about?
Well, as you already know, any IT organization, be it in the private sector or the government, they execute contracts on a regular basis. Now, there are two major aspects of any contract. One is commercial and the other one is technical. The technical side is evaluated by the pre-sales or sales team, whether they comply with all the technical requirements or whether they are able to provide products and services. We also have to establish the commercial aspect, whether any transaction is commercially viable. What are the payment terms? What are the liquidated damages? Are there any indemnity obligations, or are there any limitation of liability clauses? Now that is where I come in order to ensure that any company does not sign on anything that would have legal and financial repercussions going forward.
Wow, this is very difficult. So tell me, Ans, for this agreements, for the government agreement and multinational agreement, are you facing any challenging revising them or having some changes?
Yes, contracts that come from the government, they're mostly standard terms and conditions, and they do not want to entertain many revisions. Similarly, for MNCs as well, they have global contracts and global terms and conditions, so unless it's something very critical, they do not want to incorporate any addendums or any revisions. However, having said that, I believe that there are some terms that you can be flexible on, but then there's terms which are critical and are non-negotiable. So you should always try to request changes which protect your proprietary interests, and if they accept them, well and good. If not, then you decide whether you want to enter into that contract or not.
Okay, and so tell me, what are the legal issues that an IT company should look out for?
Well, that's a very good question, because it varies as per the type of contract that you're entering into. Usually the most important terms that you should look for in a contract are the intellectual property rights, the indemnity provisions, and the limitation of liability clauses. Now, if you are an OEM, your intellectual property rights should be protected first and foremost. However, if you are working on behalf of an OEM, you should ensure that you have IP infringement indemnity, because you are not part of their R&D. You don't know what sort of technology that they're using and whether it's patented or not. So it's better if there is a breach for a third-party IP infringement going forward, you are protected in that regard.
This was new for me. Okay, so now we'll go to the customers. How the customer can protect himself.
And now for the customers, what they need to ensure is that the products or services that they are procuring, they are being provided as per the terms of the contract. What they can do is they can incorporate a performance bank guarantee, which will ensure that the services are being performed as per the contract. And if there is any breach of warranty, or if, let's suppose, there is a defective product, they need to ensure that there is a proper SLA for the response time and for providing the repairs or any replacement products if required. So those are all the things that clients should ensure are part of the contract, and they're in black and white.
I hope that all our customers can benefit from this point.
I'm sure they can.
Okay, coming to the VAT. So can you tell me more details about how we will deal with the VAT in the contracts, because this is something new for the UAE?
Yes, since they've announced that a VAT will be introduced in 2018 in the UAE, Right now we have contract clauses regarding taxes, but since there are no applicable taxes in the UAE as such, we do not get into any revisions in that regard. However, we are incorporating languages where it says that if there is any change in the fiscal environment in the future that will have an economical impact on the contract, both parties will actually sit in good faith in order to resolve that issue, consider it and revise the pricing accordingly.
Okay, so the customers accept to have a higher price?
Hopefully. Hopefully they will take that up.
Now, as coming to the payment terms that everyone really care about. So what is the best situations for us?
Well, basically your payment terms depend upon your cash flow. It could be net 30 days or it could be net 45 days, whatever is convenient for you. The thing is that clients are usually reluctant to pay upfront or in advance, and if they do pay in advance, they request an advance payment guarantee against that. Or like I mentioned earlier, they usually want to incorporate a performance bank guarantee as well. So if you do provide a performance bond, it is highly imperative that you actually comply with the requirements, because you don't want to be in a situation where they would incur delay penalties on you, or you would have to pay liquidated damages because of that, because that would be a huge loss.
Okay, thank you very much, Ans.
Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope this was very informative for you, and wait for the next video.